The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
First Big Podcast. It is the last pod of 2022. I'm your host, Ernest E.J. Christian. It is also our annual, whatever you want to call it. It's the annual end of year Christian family episode where everybody in the family checks in. The wife, the wife's in this time around. My two kids, we'll hear from them in a second too as well. And we discuss our holidays and our goals 2023 and what we want to do in 2023 and just where we are as a family. You know, it's kind of a benchmark here to check in. So this won't be long. I mean, in terms of this opening segment here, because we're going to have on my kids come in a second, and then my wife on the back end of the show, and to close it out for the last episode of this podcast of 2023. Of course, this podcast subscribe on all podcast catchers. Especially guys, if anything, subscribe to my YouTube page, smash the subscribe button on YouTube at youtube.com/@EarnestChristian. Also, if you guys have not followed us couple of weeks, my other podcast, Earnestly Unfiltered podcast, like we've been lopping off it's basically what's happening now with that show is that we're pretty much putting all the time-sensitive topics of sports, especially on that feed, so it'll have its own home. Like I said, I don't want to color this feed. I want this feed to be more evergreen for the interviews. We'll still talk sports on this show, but it'll be more of the bigger stuff, the bigger previews of the season, or a check-in on the NFL season, a check-in on the NBA season, or something of that nature. Whereas the day-to-day stuff will be on the unfiltered feed. So you'll hear all my day-to-day commentary on the world of sports, and some, of course, like what we do on the show, like we'll touch on a little bit of like other pop culture things that we touch on, but mainly that'll be a daily or quote unquote daily sports podcast. I'll try to keep us. So far I'm doing pretty good. I've been doing the show every day, especially this week. Like I said, there'll be days where I won't do it, obviously. But that show also I also do a lot of those episodes on the road. Like if I'm like on the road, for example, going to work or come home from work, or I'm on break and I have a chance to check in for 15, 20 minutes, that show also I'm trying to keep it between 15 minutes or less, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on how I feel that day. But again, that feed will be more of the sports daily time sensitive stuff, whereas this feed, of course, like I said, will be more of the evergreen persuasion. So, like I said, I didn't want to clutter the feed with all the same old, especially when we have a lot of interviews. I want to kind of have legs and stuff. So, anyway, like I said, this episode's special. It is the final episode of this podcast of 2022. My holidays was stressful. Well, I won't say stressful. It was tiring, but it's fun. I love Christmas with my family, especially. Where should I start? Christmas Eve. Basically, as I said before to you guys, we were my mom and I should say my sister really at my mom's house planned a big pajama party for the family. With a really big deal. A lot of people showed up. It was freezing here. Now, again, freezing is all relative to where you live at. We're in South Florida, so cold for us is 40 degrees, 44 degrees is cold for us. So it was a freezing night. We had a fire, a little campfire action there. Lots of great food. My cousin made some great food. Everybody brought some stuff. It was a great time. Leading up to that, I had a big finger issue. I busted my thumb last week, and that and I had to work Friday and Saturday, and it was kind of a drag a little bit because it was a lot of pain. But obviously, you do what you got to do. Like I said, the party was fantastic. Had a great time. We didn't get out of there until about 2 a.m. Got home Christmas morning at about 2 a.m. Put the kids to sleep. They stayed awake. And we had to go back downstairs and pack up the rest of the Christmas gifts. We had to wrap up. My wife and I, we did that. Went to bed about 3:30, quarter to 4. Slept about 8 in the morning. 9 in the morning. Actually, 9 in the morning. Kids had to stay asleep. Can you believe that? Even on Christmas morning, they stayed asleep as late as they could. Got up in the morning about 9:30. Opened the gifts. They enjoyed their gifts, of course. Then we went to my wife's. Every year, her job, they do a luncheon on Christmas Day at a hibachi place. We go there every year. It's a fantastic time. Her boss pays for all the food because there's ice cream also too. On top of that, it was a great time there with some of my coworkers and some of her coworkers. Obviously, her coworkers there, and some of my coworkers there as well too. We work in the same place, sort of, not in the same company, but same place. A little more elaborate in that way. What else we did on that day as well? So we did that. We did that about noon. Um, got done at about 3, I think, about 2:30, 3 o'clock. Went back home. I was exhausted. Came home, watched the rest of the Packers Dolphins game, which man, Dolphins lose again. Ugh. Watched that with the wife, and then around I want to say 4:30, 5 o'clock, we decided to go to my mom's. No, sorry, my wife, my mom's house for the day for a couple of an hour or so. Spent time there, and then we had gotten invited also by one of our couple of our friends to to roast marshmallows at their house. The fire pit action there. So we went to their house, spent a couple hours there. Some friends of ours, coworkers, had a great time there roasting marshmallows, talking about life, talking about work, talking about things that are good in our lives and things that bothers us in our lives, and it was a fun time. Went back to mom's house after that for another hour or so. Came back home, went to sleep, and then that's that. Decided to call out of work Monday because of my thumb, and I wasn't feel well. And I caught a little something also too, small something on Monday as well too. So I stayed. I ended up creating a 3-day weekend out of it. So that was that. That was our Christmas in a nutshell. And then and other than that, that's been fantastic. I didn't have a chance to celebrate with my dad's side of the family, which I'll be doing this week. In fact, I'll be doing that I think tonight. I believe when this recording comes out. So that's what's on the docket there as well too. Excuse me. As you celebrate with outside of family, and that's the cool thing about having. That's one of the amazing things about having a blended family, having parents that didn't get married, and having my dad have kids on one end, my mom having kids on her end, and having yes, they're half sisters, they're brothers, but we don't do the half thing. Either you are, or you aren't, kind of thing was kind of cool. The cool thing about having a blended family is that you get more people you care for in your life, more opportunities to do other things, to invest into people that are just great people, and you know having my mom's side of the family and doing that stuff there, and having my dad's side of the family and doing stuff there. It's great. I truly really appreciate. I think I never really not liked it. Always appreciated having a blended family, honestly. So, like I said, so we have to celebrate my dad's side of the family this week. We were able to do that. We were able to do that last week. We'll do it this week, obviously. Um, as for 2023, a lot of my goals really are financial, saving, obviously save money. Trying to get in the right, great. You always want to get in the best financial spot possible, especially with the economy that's so topsy turvy, inflation. You have kids. You want to make sure they're secure, their future's secure, but also make sure your future's secure. Um, got a lot of goals. Obviously, you want to travel a little more this year. We'll be able to do a little more this year. Um, I don't know. There's not a lot of big things that I really want to accomplish in 2023, honestly. Other than, if anything, prioritize health, prioritize, things of nature. Um, and I don't know. I just don't have any lofty goals in 2023 right now. And continuing this podcast and growing this out and another podcast and growing that out, and I'm having fun doing a lot of podcasts every Tuesday, and takes wrestling on Thursdays, and I want to keep doing those kind of stuff, and continue stretching out the content and continue to do things that I enjoy, investing in things I enjoy. I don't know. I'm kind of speechless here on that, because I kind of had some things in my head I wanted to say. I didn't write them down, and now I'm like, I really don't have any major goals other than to just be a better person in 2023 than I was 2022, and continue to, live life, to the fullest of my ability. I mean, that's really what I got there, honestly. So I think that's really that's it for me. So anyway, so here we go. We're gonna bring in my two kids now, Eli and Logan, as we discuss their holidays and what they enjoyed and what to expect. And then my wife comes on at the tail end of the show. So enjoy these couple conversations here. Okay, we are now joined here. Ooh, there's Logie. Eli Jackson, Logan. Wow, a little loud, buddy. Boys, how was your Christmas?
Good.
Did you enjoy all your gifts?
Yes!
Which was your favorite gift?
Nunchucks.
Nunchucks?
The
you know what I told Mom not to buy that for you?
The boxing.
Because I was scared you might injure somebody with it because you're pretty wild. But no, we got it. But we agreed to good. We agreed to it. You enjoy nunchucks, right? You also got what else did you get this? I thought your gifts this year was actually my favorite gifts you gotten of your life.
Which was?
I love the air hockey. Air hockey thing you guys could play all the time. Obviously, love the soccer balls that Grandma got y'all. What else you guys got? Goal! No need to be loud. They can hear you. No need to be loud. What else? You got. What, I saw you got. I saw you got a couple. Wait, I saw you got a couple of Switch games though too. Also.
What?
You want to talk to the microphone? You want to talk, Logan? Talk.
Hey, I know that ain't Christmas.
It's not Christmas anymore.
Because I got gifts like Mario.
What was your Logan? Oh yeah. My favorite was actually not just that, but the boxing gifts. They got the boxing. What do you call it?
Boxing and
I'm getting old for this.
Boxing.
Yeah, boxing gloves also with the
boxing thing.
What do you call it?
The boxing.
Did you punch?
The boxing bag.
Yeah, punch bag.
The punching bag.
Do you like the punching bag? You like the punching bag? I think the one you got though is pretty good, but I think the one that I'm gonna get for myself probably later in the year will be better for you because it's gonna be more adult, obviously.
I already accomplished it.
Accomplished what? You ready to break it? You didn't break it yet?
Oh, I will. Trust me, I will. I'm so close to breaking it.
Were you hitting it too hard? It's kind of weird. You got to put water inside the bottom of the thing to keep it sturdy. It's weird, right?
Yeah.
I prefer sand. But of course, you don't live near sand. Let's go to the playground. Let's go to the playground and steal some sand from the playground. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that crap.
Hell no.
So if you had to tell me your top 3 gifts this year you got, what would you say top 3 gifts are?
Nunchucks, bow and arrow, and...
Oh, the bow and arrow too! That's right!
Bow
Dude, yo, let me tell you something now. Your mom crushed it with the gifts this year.
Bow arrow!
Mom's idea. Like, we both bought it, obviously, but Mom was the creative one. Daddy is as creative as Mom is. Let's be real. Turn that down. I don't want to get a copyright strike again. Not yet. So Logie.
I can't hear it!
Logie, hold on, Logie. Tell me your top 3 gifts. What were your 3 favorite gifts this year you got?
Bow arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Air hockey. And the boxing thing.
You like the boxing thing too? I like the bow and arrow a lot. I actually like the drum set too was cool, right?
And a drum.
The drum set.
The...
What else you get this year? What else you got? You got a couple Switch games too, also. Nintendo Switch games. Which games was that? The Nintendo Switch games.
Mario Strikers Battle League.
Mm-hmm.
And Donkey Kong. The soccer ball.
You know what? I was never a Donkey Kong fan growing up, but now I like it.
Oh, I'm gonna kill you.
No, I was always into Mario. I was always a Mario guy.
Yeah, really? Well, guess what? Now you're pretty much dumb because Donkey.
Why am I dumb? Why?
Because I
know.
In the oldies.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong was in Mario.
I know, but when they made the Donkey Kong games back then, I was not a fan of the Donkey Kong games at the time.
Donkey Kong. Hey!
I was like sports games growing up. That's why.
Ah!
Logan, have you played the Nintendo game yet? The Donkey Kong game yet?
They're both, yes, he's played it with me.
Is he any good?
I did. Yes, it's pretty good.
Is he really good?
Yes, it's really good. Yeah.
No, is he any good? I think.
Yeah, he's kind of good at it.
He's kind of good? Is he better than you?
He keeps dying. No, I'm better than him.
You're better than everybody, aren't you? Everything, aren't you?
Yes.
You're the king of everything, aren't you?
Yes.
How many subscribers do you want to get?
About 1 million. Well, probably more than this.
Can you help me with that?
Unless you give me $100.
So you're trying to bribe me now? Are you trying to bribe me now? You want to bribe your dad now? Really?
Not February.
Okay. So now that we know what you got and you enjoyed, well, first of all, you've been staying up late every night for this entire vacation. You like that? They can't see you. Shrug your shoulders. Kind of like it. Should I put your bedtime back to 6 o'clock in the evening?
Yeah.
7 o'clock in the evening?
Yeah, there's no song. I like yeah, there's
You
a
like it?
song called Seven Rings.
You know that's not forever though, right? That's got to end at some point, right?
Yeah, look, there's a song called Seven Rings.
Okay.
And I hate it.
You hate that song?
Yeah. Oh my
Logie, do you like staying up late? Do you like staying up late during the holidays?
I would just slap you in the face.
No, who? Eli? Me?
No.
No.
Yes, I will.
No.
Yes,
You guys
I
are
will.
wild. Logan, do you like staying up late during the holidays? You like it? Staying up late past your bedtime? Like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night? You like it? Because you guys are up to like 2 o'clock in the morning, I think, on Christmas Eve, right? Christmas Eve, you guys are up to like, you guys are up to like, what was it? What was it we said? 2 in the morning on Christmas Eve? You guys done?
Yes, we're done.
We're done with this?
Yes.
Okay. One last thing before we go. We'll keep it short and sweet. What goals do you guys have in 2023?
I told you I don't.
No, tell the world.
Shut up.
You shut up.
You shut
Yeah,
up.
you shut up.
You shut up.
Hey. Stop it. Don't follow that. You want to have birthday parties here for your birthday?
Brr.
You do? Do you want to go to Disney World? Say yes. So I can hear you. Do you want to...
Leave me alone now.
You done with this now?
Me too.
You done with this now? You done?
Yeah!
You want to go play soccer in a couple minutes?
Yeah!
You didn't say soccer balls as your favorite thing. You didn't say that.
Soccer ball wasn't my favorite.
Wasn't my favorite? Why? Can you suck at soccer? Okay. It's okay. I'll teach you. Okay, say bye. Sorry, bye. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Oh my god. I will fart you in the face.
Stop it. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah. I will fart you.
All right, guys. Hello, Mrs. Christian. It is the last podcast of 2022.
Okay.
I mean, okay. Should be honored.
Why?
I don't know.
Because we've made it this long?
We're actually in bed recording this, so not in the studio. I wanted to go in the studio to do this, but then we were watching TV. Like, you know what? We have no time. We've had a very let's say active weekend. We're exhausted, and either we record this now or we don't do the rest of the year because we have no time
Basically.
to do anything at all.
Basically.
Work schedules, kids schedules, and the kids are home from school the next 2 weeks, so it's
week and a half.
Well, we're what, weekend now? Almost weekend to the vacation?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, I guess really more than else, like, just like I did with the kids earlier, I'll ask you, did you enjoy 2022? Did you like it? You didn't like? You hated it?
Yes.
Why?
I think honestly, 2022 has been one of the hardest years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, and I've really gone through like a lot of anxiety and just I don't know, trying to heal from past traumas and things like that, and just working through shit that just is shit, you know?
I feel like this was the first year, like, even though those traumas existed, this is the first year you really actually dealt with it, like, head on. And I think that's why you had a hard time trying to get over that part. You know, that the hard part is going through it and facing the reality, I guess, of the things that you went through growing up that you're now trying to deal with as an adult, you know?
On top of that, we've also had a couple losses this year that really messed us up.
Yeah, losing our dog in May, losing our cat, I think in August.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's been a traumatic year for the family. We're persevered, obviously. It's I mean, no one writes a map on how to live life. You just do it. Like, even if you could have all your ducks in a row, and it wouldn't matter. You know, sometimes if things happen. All you can do is be prepared for those things that happen in the event they do happen.
You can try, but even then, you're never prepared for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're never prepared for the grief that hits you afterwards, and you know the drain that you experience afterwards, and you know. But yeah.
Were there any positives for you this year? You can think of any positives? Personally for you, that you can say, well, it's a rough year, but these were the things that actually, you know, was a good thing.
I did my first Disney 5K.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I completed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very proud of myself for that. I think we've had a couple of breakthroughs with Eli.
The son. Yep.
Yeah, which I'm really grateful for. Yeah, there were a few things.
Yeah, I mean, our youngest going to kindergarten.
Yep, that too.
That's a great thing.
And he adjusted so well.
Yeah, that was the amazing thing. Like, I mean, we were so worried about how that was going to play out. Like, and he just kind of seamlessly went through it. Like,
and he loves it.
He's doing well in school too.
He loves it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, 2022 had its ups and downs. Obviously, do you have any goals for next year that you?
No.
No goals?
I don't live my life by goals.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
I don't have dreams or goals or expectations or anything like that. I've gone through too much in my life to really stick to something like that.
There's anything you want to accomplish next year? You just
another 5K.
Yeah, in November again.
Disney.
November again.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You know, maybe actually be financially responsible. And not.
Well, no one really expected inflation to really hit the way it did, and then all the things around us happened the way it happened. And it's, like I said, it's one of those things where, like, you have to adjust and you have to, kind of just, it's tough. It's just one of those things where, like, hey, and I'm someone who likes to be in control of the things that we are involved in, because, and I say, because I'm not, it's me in general, like, I had to know what's going on. I had to know that we're spending on this or this and that. It's something that we made the decision on. That's someone making it for us, or the situation making it for us.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it.
Oh, I mean, you know me, I'm a control freak. Like,
yeah.
When things around me are spiraling out of control, I can't deal.
No, I'm with you.
And I try very hard, but, I grew up in chaos, and I handle it because I have to.
Right.
But then I end up with, like, a meltdown afterwards, It's like, I don't know. If we could just get ourselves to a place where we're not stressed out like all the time, I think I'd be okay.
I like my go-to move always if I'm stressed out, I feel like I'm overwhelmed, is to remove things from my life. Like, it's weird. Like, it's even with the things that are so silly, but it makes sense. Like, for me, if I feel like I'm overwhelmed on things, okay, so now I want to delete podcasts to listen to now because it's too much. It's less sensory, less something I have to worry about to listen to. Like, I have this thing where I'm so like OCD, and my ADHD is also so bad. Where like I have like a certain structure of how I want to build my day. Like, I want to do this, and this, but then you have all these other things that you have to be taking care of also, like our responsibilities to the kids and responsibilities to each other and other things of that nature. And I still struggle with that even today. Like,
there's a lot. It's a lot. Life is a lot. Adulting is pure responsibility. It's not this. I can do whatever I want. I can buy whatever I want. I can eat whatever I want. I can do whatever I want kind of thing that we all thought it was going to be when we were kids. It's fucking hard.
Yeah, but staying in the parameters of that, though. Like, we tell our son all the time, Eli, like, because he wants to grow up so fast. Like, he wants to be an adult to do what he wants. And
he thinks he can. He thinks he thinks that being an adult means you can do whatever you want. And it's like, yeah, sure, being an adult means that if you want to have ice cream for breakfast, you can have ice cream for breakfast. You're going to deal with the consequences of it because your stomach ain't going to be able to handle it. But, you can't just get up and fly to Disney. You can't just get up and go on vacation. You can't just, you have to work. You have to have an income. You have to pay for all the things that you need: a house, food on your table, clothes on your back. It's funny. I was having this conversation with a player at work the other day about how we live our lives today, how the things that were once luxuries to us are now necessities, like internet, all the streaming services. We look at it and go, yeah, no, I have to have that. Like, I can't live without my Netflix. I can't, you know what I mean? Like, it's become a necessity for us to live.
Which is silly because we really don't need that. Like,
no, that's what I'm saying is we live our lives in such a way now where things that were once luxuries, we now consider necessities.
You know what it is, though, right? You know why that is, though? Because they're escapes.
Right. But, like, trying to teach your kids that, it's incredibly difficult because, we grew up in a time where, if we wanted to watch a TV show, we had to watch it with commercials. And we had to wait a week for the next episode. You know what I mean? We didn't have it right at our fingertips.
And also, at the time it came on, unless you were recording on a VCR.
Right.
Like, if X show came on at 9 o'clock,
right,
you had to wait till 9 o'clock to watch it. If you missed it, you lose.
Exactly. And like that's how we grew up. So we were grateful for those things when we did get to watch them and when we did get to see them. Whereas now you have everything at your fingertips, and all you gotta do is press a button.
Well, I think that's the negative now of having so much access to things now, is that the appreciation or lack of appreciation.
Right, but like, how do you teach your kids that? How do you teach your kids that they don't need Netflix?
I struggle with that too because, like, while our kids like don't appreciate it, like, how can I expect them to appreciate something that they don't know what is? Like, that's what they were born into. Like. I think the other day, like, whatever it was, I can't remember, a couple months ago, like, I think Eli or Logan had asked me, what is that? It's a VCR. Like, oh, what is that? What does it do? Like, they barely know what a DVD is now. They barely know what a DVD is.
Right. They have everything at their fingertips. And that's one of the things. Is like, Eli thinks he can grow up and do whatever he wants. And it's like, you can't just sit and play video games all day.
No, that's not
you can't just sit and I don't know, go outside and play soccer unless you become like an athlete.
Yeah, I struggle with that too. Like I don't want to be the mean dad. Like, I don't want to be a mean dad either. But I have to rein it back in, rein it back into the point where
he understands that. Look, we need balance. We can't.
Right. You can't just do whatever you want when you become an adult.
Yeah.
And even as a kid, you still have some responsibilities. And he hates it. He hates his responsibilities.
Oh God.
He hates cleaning up his mess. He hates, and it's so difficult because you're just like, yeah, kid, I don't want to clean my mess up either. It's so difficult to kind of parent these days.
And I don't want to sit here and complain about being a parent. I love being a dad. I love it. But at the same time, it's like the challenges that come with it, though. It's like, oh my gosh.
That's what I'm talking about. Though. It's like just adulting in general is hard, and then you tack on kids and stuff and parenting, and it becomes like, I don't know, life just becomes so incredibly stressful all the time.
Sabi, how have you enjoyed the weather the last couple of days?
Oh, it's my favorite. I thrive.
We're in South Florida, so it's been the mid-40s the last couple of days.
Which is freezing for us, but for everybody else.
My only problem with it this week I've had with it is that I can do a cold, obviously. The cold and the rain is what I have an issue with.
I have no problem with either. I will take the cold and the rain over a 90-degree weather day in Florida. I would give me cold and rain all day.
I also need to be prepared for it, and unfortunately, I don't have a lot of winter
None of
stuff.
us have winter gear. We live in Florida,
right? And I just found my sweater yesterday that you reminded me that I actually still had. I wear flip-flops almost everywhere other than I'm going to work or to a random, more casual place. So, I'm pretty much the floor. I'm Florida man now at this point.
You always have been.
Well, it's gotten progressively worse through the years.
It's funny though, because I sit here and I talk about how I want to get the hell out of Florida, how I hate Florida, but I realized in these last couple of days, my kids can't leave Florida.
Yeah, Logan. Yeah, Logan. I thought it was Logan was complaining about the cold yesterday all weekend. Dad, Mom, it's cold. It's cold. And they're in clothes to stay warm, but they don't like it.
No, and he hated to wear all the long sleeves and put him in long sleeves, and he didn't want to be in it. It was bro, it's cold.
Does that mean we got any chance I'm going to New York for vacation is going to have to wait a little longer?
Yeah, probably till they're older. I mean, Eli dealt with it better than Logan did, but
Eli loves the cold though.
Sometimes, but he hated it too at one point or another.
Yeah. Yeah, they still played outside the entire weekend, with their cousins, and like I said, I enjoy the weather for what it was. Obviously, I like what it's. I like that it was cold during Christmas Day.
I just hate that it only
That's
lasted
what it was.
3 days.
Remember, I was complaining the last couple of years, yes, we'll get cold fronts here in Florida, randomly December, randomly January, whatever, but it would never feel like Christmas on the day of Christmas. Because it was a normal 80-degree Florida day.
We're just rambling here.
Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that. That's what this podcast is about. We don't have structure to this show.
No, but it's the end of the year show, and we're talking about the weather.
What's wrong with the weather? You have a problem with the weather?
No,
it's okay. It's okay though.
We're not meteorologists. We're just.
I'm talking about I'm talking about my experiences with dealing with the cold and stuff. I just love that. On Christmas morning, it felt like Christmas morning up north. That's all I'm going to say.
We really not have anything better to talk about than the freaking weather.
Oh, fuck. Actually, well, I didn't tell you this, though, but I spoke about this on my podcast, actually, last week, on the last episode, actually. Mm-hmm. I was kind of really impressed with your, recent, shared interest of sports with me now as of late. It's weird. No, I know you played this in the episode, but it hit me last Sunday when the World Cup final hit, and you would tell me, and I knew it was coming on, but I was doing other things, and you would just randomly said, "Hey, put on the World Cup. It's on now. The final's on." What? Who are you?
Well, that's because everybody kept watching it at work, and I was invested because.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Because every time I was at work, it would be on.
Well, you've always been into basketball with me. Basketball you and I, basketball was my. But football, like when we first started dating in 2006, the thing was that apparently you told me that you always liked football with your dad.
Yeah.
But then like I guess being with me and how I acted, especially back then, like I made you hate football. I guess
you threw me off a bed.
Okay, you want to tell a story? 'Cause I told the audience a story, sort of, not a story. I told them this thing about me throwing off the bed on the last episode. You want to tell them a story about that? You want to tell them a story about this? Finally, clear the air on this.
Clear the air on what?
And the worst part, I look bad in this now too, because you know why? The worst part was it wasn't even a game that I even cared about.
I know, but you also didn't even realize I was on the floor.
And I remember the game was. It was the Bears and the Cardinals Monday Night Football game. I think that was a game where like the Bears were down 21-0 and came back and won the game. I think Devin Hester ran back a touchdown, or a couple touchdowns in that game.
I don't even know what game it was.
But I freaked out and I threw off the bed, not knowing you were, because
we were snuggling and I was laying on your I was laying on my side.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had your arm around me, and you sat up like so aggressively that I flew off the bed. Like you kind of rolled me onto the floor, and I was like half asleep, and I sat up and I went, "What the fuck just happened?" And you were like, "Why are you on the floor?" And I'm like, "You fucking threw me on the floor over a damn football game." So ever since, I had hated football.
You should have done, right? You should have broken up with me that day.
I probably should have. But I loved you too much.
Yeah, I know.
And it was an accident. It wasn't like you actually meant to throw me on the floor. You know, but like you've come a long way. Mm-hmm. Like you've really not been as obsessed. At least in the last 5-6 years or so. You've really calmed down.
Well, like I said, I think parenting does that to you. I think age does it to you. Like I love sports, but I'm the same guy that like if I miss a game here or there once in a while, I'm not gonna like lose my shit. You know, I'm not gonna sit there.
Right. But you used to. Like you used to lose your shit even in like the beginning of the season.
Yep.
You know, if your team was playing like shit, you'd lose it.
The New York Giants.
I've seen you throw your phone. I've seen you
the New York Giants had a way, especially years ago, had a way where my week was impacted on and whether they won or lost that week.
Right.
It's bad. It was so bad.
It was really bad. And I mean, like I said, you've come a very long way.
Yeah.
To where now I can actually enjoy football with you in the same way that I enjoyed watching it with my dad. And just keeping up on it with people at work and stuff, you know, but like it's
I also think a lot of it too also is you know, and this is what kind of like this podcast actually in a lot of ways has been kind of the catalyst. Like you've seen the growth of things and interest. Like this show's 11 years old. Okay, this show started solely as a sports podcast.
Right.
Solely.
Right.
And then it's not that anymore. It is a combination.
No, because you've also discovered other interests of yours, or like become more passionate about other interests of yours, such as politics and parenting and you know, just wrestling and you know, other things that you've really developed a bigger passion for than just football or just basketball.
Right.
You know,
so. It actually annoys me now. Like the people like I talk to, and people on this podcast, like I don't like. I know a lot of them on this podcast that like are like coworkers of mine or friends of mine and stuff like, you know, or people I don't talk to a long time, but they'll check on me once in a while. You know, and they'll, you know, you kind of get a label that sports guy thing. I started. It didn't bother me at first years ago, but like when people look at me, it's like, oh, sports. I hate that because that's not who I am.
I mean, but you still are labeled that guy.
That's what I'm saying. I hate it, and I hate it. If people say, "Oh, you know, so it's all sports." No, I don't. No, I did not watch that game last night. I did other things, you know, and I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, I guess when you're 42 years old and you have a balanced palette of things that you're into and you embrace that, you know, I don't know. It's just one of those things. I don't know. It's just.
I mean, you still have. I think your biggest passion is still sports.
Yeah,
I think
I
out
would
of
say,
everything.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean when you have when you have like a like the other podcast I do, like the other one,
I'm not just saying podcast though. I mean, I think in terms of your life,
Yeah.
I think, overall, sports is still your number one
Interest?
interest.
Probably, yes. But I think what it is now is that it's shared now. Instead of not being the only thing, it's shared now. So it's a little
I mean,
balanced.
it's just like in the way that you are with Michael Jackson, right?
Okay.
How you know everything there is to know about him, how you like know every detail of the trial and everything like that. You're the same way with sports.
Mm-hmm.
You have this knowledge, almost an infinite knowledge of sports. The fact that you can name, like list off key players from a team from a time before you were even born. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have this infinite knowledge of sports in the same way that you have this kind of infinite knowledge about Michael Jackson. It's that same type of, what is it, hyperfixation, I guess, is what it is.
Yeah, well, a lot of things. It's MJ, it's Metallica, it's fucking Queen in that way with too. It's pro wrestling, it's a lot of things. I mean,
right.
Politics also too, especially.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of like, if I sit here and I talk to you about music, right?
Yeah.
You know a lot about Metallica, obviously.
A lot.
But I think you know more about Michael Jackson than you do about Metallica.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about an artist I've invested 40 years into.
Yes.
20 years into.
But again, I think the same thing comes to your other interests and passions.
Correct.
Where sports, I think, is your number one, where you know all there is to know about it.
Yeah.
At least football and basketball.
And some baseball too.
Some baseball, but I think football and basketball are your...
Oh yeah, easily. Basketball especially.
Even if you're not watching a game, even if you miss a Monday night game, you still know what happened. You still somehow find out the information or watch the highlights or something.
Yeah.
That kind of catches you up.
So as we wrap up here, we're getting to New Year very soon, a couple of days. Did you enjoy this holiday season? This Christmas?
Yes and no.
I could say a no first, I guess. Then. Always like good news, bad news. Tell me bad news first.
I mean, I really tried to be in the holiday spirit. It was nice having like Christmas music on 2 different radio stations.
Yeah, that was cool.
For the whole month, and then finally having it at work too. I think the fact that I didn't have any cold weather until Christmas really kind of messed it up for me. It
Yeah, because normally we'll have cold fronts coming early before.
Yeah, but like the fact that we've only literally had 3 days of cold weather this entire month has really pissed me off.
At least you got really cold weather.
Yeah, but still, like for me, it's not enough. It's never enough. I need more. I thrive in the cold weather. I do. I was more awake. I was more like functionable. Everything about it. I think I really struggled with what I was getting the kids for Christmas, what they wanted.
Well, you and I always fight on a budget. Like I explained on the last episode too, like how like Christmas budgeting is like
You're ridiculous.
It's like a challenge for us because like you have this idea of things and then I have this idea of things. We got to figure out a compromise and when you have inflation and this and that and the kids are getting older and it's always all these factors.
I argued about the inflation part of it because I set a budget that I thought was reasonable, and you were like, "No, that's way too expensive." And I was like, "You have to factor in inflation." And you were like, "It's still too expensive."
Yeah,
I was like, "But it's really not."
I've come to terms that at this point, Christmas is for kids. I don't. Like, I celebrate, but to me, the highlights for me is always the family gatherings. It's always being with family and just having food. Like, I don't even care about getting gifts at all. I don't.
Yeah.
Because number one, if I want a gift, I'll get it myself. If I want something, I'll get it myself, or vice versa. So it's never been about gifts for me. I don't care about gifts. All the gifts this year we got are for the kids. That's it. And I think that's the one part I think I enjoy is watching them open gifts in the morning and their excitement.
Yeah, they were really excited. I mean, there was still more that I wanted to get for them that we ended up not getting.
Right.
I mean, they also weren't like the most well-behaved
this year.
Oh, we really did struggle,
especially the last couple weeks too. Especially,
yeah. So, and we don't really hold Santa over their head. As far as discipline goes.
Well, I think I guess we're to the point now where is Eli still being Santa? I think he's still
struggling.
I think Eli's starting to figure out the clue now that
he's struggling with it, and I've told him he doesn't exist. I've told him there is no Santa.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but
But there's a problem with that now. But you do that means Logan now doesn't get the fantasy.
Logan believes there is a Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Eli is struggling with whether or not Santa Claus is real. We experienced this yesterday when we were at a friend's house, and he was playing with kids who are, a couple of years younger than him, who believe in Santa Claus and Elf on the Shelf, and he kept going, "Oh, it's not real," or "I don't believe it's real," or, and I remember him coming over to me and going, "Well, Mom, is Saint Nick real?" And I was like, well, technically, yes, like there was a Saint Nicholas. Whether that's Santa Claus or not is a whole other thing. But, trying to explain to him the idea of creating a magical figure for young children, to have something to look forward to, something that makes them feel special around this time. He's having a hard time grasping that concept.
Right.
But he's also in this whole pursuit to find whether or not Santa Claus is real. So. Well,
it's my hope that Logan gets to experience it as long as he can before the bubbles burst.
I'm overusing it as a disciplinary tactic.
Yeah, I don't even bother anymore with that.
If I told them both, if you choose to believe in Santa, then you believe in Santa. But if you choose not to believe in Santa, then you choose not to believe in Santa.
I believe in Santa.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you whether or not it's true or false. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what to believe and what not to believe. You make that decision for yourself, and that's where I stand on it.
Did you believe Santa Claus?
I did for a long time.
Until what age? I think age 9.
I think I was probably 8 or 9.
Because that's to me, it took me moving to Florida to realize, wait a second, how's it getting in the house this time? It's too warm. There's nowhere to get in the house in Florida. New York made sense. Right. Florida, not so much.
when you start to look at it, it all is kooky. It's crazy. It's this. How the hell does he get down a chimney when there is no chimney?
Yeah.
But then you have movies like The Santa Claus, which they just made into a show, The Santa Clauses, which explains how Santa jumps through these portals in the sky, and how his sack is this magic thing that makes him, able to go down these tiny little chimney things that create a fireplace that magically disappear when he goes back up to the sleigh. It's crazy.
So my one disappointment this year, I have two actually. Every year I get into modes like I want to decorate early. I want to get the tree early. I want to get into the mode. Ever since COVID, I've been saying that I wanted to start celebrating Christmas in November 1st. After Halloween, we're in holiday mode. Let's start decorating the house early, this and that. Let's get trees early as you can. Let's put stocks in the house, lights on the house. And every year we say that, and then we never do the thing we do. We get the tree and all that.
First of all, you say it.
Right.
Okay, I don't want to start decorating until I see Santa Claus come in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
So you're still done, you're still wait till Thanksgiving's over.
Wait till after Thanksgiving.
Because I'm at a point in my life now where I lump the two now.
You can lump the two all you want. I don't care for Thanksgiving personally.
You don't?
No.
Really? Why?
It's not my favorite holiday.
Why?
Because, like, I love food. Yes, I do. But I fucking hate turkey.
Well, me
Fuck
too.
wants turkey. Turkey is just...
I mean, I don't like turkey either.
Fucking hate turkey.
Yeah.
But, like, I love my Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and that's it. That's it. And then after I see Santa Claus at the end of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade...
I love my football.
I will decorate.
Football.
I don't want to cook a whole meal. I don't want to schlep all over the place. I don't care. Okay? I like to eat my ham, and I like to eat my, other things, sweet potato casserole.
Beans.
No. Sweet potato casserole, my squash casserole, my mashed potatoes, my pies, I like all the food, but, like, I'm not going to sit here and try to decorate before Thanksgiving. It makes it too stressful.
So we got the tree obviously, and a couple of lights and a couple of decorations that we do every year, but we never went full out the way I wanted to. And every year I say I'm gonna go full out, and I never do it.
Oh, it also comes because of budgetary restrictions.
Well, that number two. Well, not only that, but even the things you have in the house that we
don't
forget that we had things in the house that we could have put up and we didn't do it, like stockings. We didn't do it till last minute.
I mean, it would have been nice. It would be nice if Bill's just kind of paused for that.
Whatever happened.
Like, no, obviously, but you still got bills to pay.
But number two, the one that sucked me more was that we didn't watch our movies.
That was your fault.
Yeah, I guess it was. But I guess
every time I would sit down to try to watch a movie, you would get up and do something else.
Yeah, you're right. No, but I was saying we didn't watch Love Actually, which was one of our favorites. We didn't watch.
You wouldn't even watch. I don't even think we finished Home Alone 2. We didn't even finish the first Home Alone.
No, we did not. And I think also too, having the plans we had also
that
normally Christmas Eve is like the night we settle in and we watch our movies. We did hot chocolate. We did do hot chocolate. We did twice this.
I mean, I also didn't bake cookies.
Yeah.
I bought the cookie dough and did not bake.
Still
the
in the
cookies.
fridge. Still in the fridge. No, we also didn't. We did the hot chocolate we do every year. Which is good. But Christmas Eve was left for my mom's house this year because we did a party, we had a fantastic time, but we were out like 2 a.m, got home and had to still wrap the gifts at 3 a.m. for the kids.
I mean, I had started the night before, but
yeah,
even the night before, the kids didn't go to bed till late.
Yeah, that threw us all off. And I think also you and I have been working a lot last couple weeks, especially too, leading up to the holidays.
Yeah, that
there's been no time to do anything. We didn't have the time to invest. So yeah, it's one of those things where like you have the intention to do those things, and then the actual life gets in the way.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get it.
Sucks. This year a lot got in the way.
No, I will say I did enjoy this year though, because I got to see a lot of friends and family this year, and we still have more to go this week. But yeah, I do. I've and I told you this before. As we've been together now 17 years, like I've started really appreciating the private gatherings now with you and I at home. Like I was raised in big, family, big, and I love that. I still love it, but I do see the value as the years have gone on with you and I being together. I do see a value in also the smaller, gatherings and the being home in your own house and whatnot, and doing your own thing and creating your own traditions and stuff. I love it. Much I love being out with my friends last night and over the weekend and my family. I also love coming back home and being my own, environment for the holidays. So that's where I'm at with that one. So,
I mean, I enjoyed the social gatherings a lot more before we had kids.
Yeah, because we have restrictions. Now we have to.
But even if we're not doing things on restrictions, there's still always something. It's always something. Always. One of them's not happy with somebody else, or they're just moody because they're tired, or because they're not eating the food that they want to eat. And it's both kids, I think, have really grown to be more comfortable at home.
Yeah.
Because they have all their stuff here. They can play with their toys, their games, their whatever. They can eat whatever they want, whenever they want, just about, not whatever they want, but they have the food that they want to eat here.
Yeah.
And like, at least with our oldest, we constantly have to travel with some type of food for him to eat.
Yeah, 9 years later, there's still an issue with him and food.
It becomes more stressful, and then we want to stay and hang out, but they want to go home because they want to go to sleep, or they start having an outburst because they're too tired and don't know how to regulate their emotions, and it becomes more difficult. So at the holiday times, I prefer, I think now with kids, to be home.
Yeah.
Or limit what we do and where we go.
At least be more efficient with it. Be more, okay, make plans, and okay, we're going to do this day, that's it. And not, like I said, I used to, back in the day, you remember this when we first started dating, I used to just, like, be very random. Like, we find out plans are here, okay, I'm going down here, and then this and that.
Yeah.
And I can't do it anymore. I don't have the bandwidth to just be very spur of the moment anymore.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Much as I would like to sometimes be more sporadic with it, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I have to plan and, figure out this and this and this and make sure it fits our structure, and so. But anyway, I guess this is it for us for the year. So I guess say bye to listeners, and see you in 2023.
Bye.
Have you actually done a podcast this year other than this one?
I don't know. I don't remember.
No, I don't think you've done a podcast. This is the first one podcast of the year.
And this one is so confusing for everyone to listen to, and I apologize. We are all over the place.
This is like every other podcast we record, though. Not saying you and me, just in general.
Usually we have topics of some sort.
We don't need topics.
Sometimes it's all over the place.
Sometimes it's better to be, open and.
This is all over the place. We jump from topic to topic,
and there is nothing,
and none of them link.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
All right. Once again, thank you to my kids, Logan and Eli, for coming on the pod, and of course my wife, Lauren. I don't think this year there was apt to doing this year. Maybe we won't do this. I don't know. Maybe next. Just the timing was off this year, I guess, doing this. But again, guys, thank you so much for a wonderful 2022 in the podcast. We'll come back strong in 2023. Check out all the work I do. I got a lot of shit going on, a lot of stuff going on here. But guys, thank you so much for coming, subscribing to this podcast, downloading, sharing. Please share the show with folks. And other than that, enjoy the rest of your holiday season. Happy New Year to you guys. We'll see you in 2023. Again, also, most importantly for me, youtube.com/EarnestChristian /@EarnestChristian on YouTube. As you find all of my content in one-stop shop there. See you guys later. God bless you guys. Enjoy the rest of the holiday season. Happy New Year's, and we'll see you in 2023.